And mentally, I think that's what you hear all the time from people who succeed. Every day they glance at the vision. They know why they're alive today. At the end of the day, they look at that and compare that vision with, did they take steps toward it, right? And there's a level of fulfillment. Yeah, it was a good day. Or, no, it wasn't a good day. I didn't move toward that agenda. But once they get to work or to their workout or to their sport, they are dialed in, fully present. And it's like, I'm going to give my all right here. The first kid in the state of Indiana to break the 4-minute mile.
Greatness doesn't just show up. There's this hidden side of it. What and who has shaped you the most?
Steve Prefontaine. And I mean, one of his quotes, to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift.
Welcome back to the 5-Star Life Show. I'm your host, Coach Seth, and I'm joined in studio with my incredible co-host, Coach Mia.
Hello, Seth.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
So we're going to have a great show. If you just tuned in, we're on a mission. We're on this laser-focused mission. We've held this up before, but this is it. Transforming students' lives by challenging the way they think, act, and lead, while equipping them with the academic, it's important, athletic, social, and employability skills necessary to thrive and live a 5-star life. Now, that's a mouthful. You can learn more at 5starlife.org. And if you just tuned in, you've never been on this platform or ever listened to our show before, thank you for tuning in. I want to remind you, you can actually tune into this anywhere that podcasts are streamed, and you can watch us on YouTube at the 5-Star Life, or there's another program partner channel that's great. It's called yourhometv.com, yourhometv.com. Both of them have all the archives. And if you're a regular and you haven't subscribed yet or shared this, please do so. But we're going to have a great show.
We are. What are we going to talk about?
You know, we're going to have some fun because we had the opportunity, producer Kevin here, who was with us on the show on air last week in your absence. He was like the Coach Mia. He brought the Coach Mia energy.
He probably did a way better job than me.
And he did awesome.
Good.
He realized how difficult a job you have. He's like, I couldn't get a word in. I had so many things I wanted to say, but you never stop. Mia's good. She has the skill of butting in, and it seeming natural. So
I give him the eye.
But we had the opportunity to interview Noah Bontrager, and Noah Bontrager is one of our 5-Star Life students, one of our 5-star schools, Westview, in Indiana here. And this kid is an incredible track and cross-country star. And so we got to sit down and interview him. So stay tuned to the show because we're going to air some of that interview here exclusively. First place you're going to hear it or see it. The first kid in the state of Indiana to break the 4-minute mile.
I can't imagine. I'm not a runner, so I can't even really imagine. You run, but hard.
I run, which is shocking to most people that know me because I was so against running for so long. It wasn't just like I didn't like to run. Like when people would run, I'd be like, "Why do you run? It's just miserable." I'd just make fun of them. I would poke them. And then I decided I need to run.
Why? What made you decide that?
I'm at this stage. I'm 48 years old, and I'm a consistent person with my workouts. And I was just like, it was a year 2025 was the year of change for me. And it was just like, I'm going to change everything. I'm going to change how I drive to work. I'm going to change the workouts I do. And that means, and I'm going to do some hard things. I'm going to do some things that I've not wanted to ever do. And that includes running. So as an athlete, football, basketball, if I have a ball in my hands, I can run. It's fun. But just running for the heck of it, I would make fun of people when they talk about the runner's high. I'm like, it does not exist. Because I look at people running, their face does not look like there's any kind of high going on. It's a low. Their face is not good. So anyways, yeah, I've been running. But I went for this run, and I told my boys I was, going to be interviewing Noah Bontrager, and I was telling about his, the accolades and his timing. And, he just had run this race 2 weeks ago in Oregon, it's a huge run where it's kids from all over the nation, the fastest runners under 20 years of age. And he won it, and his time was insane. And he runs a 5K in 13 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
5K. And so I come in for my run one day, and my middle son, Jordan, had just come from the gym. He's like, and we always talk about our workouts. He's like, Dad, how'd your workout go? Like, I went for a 5K. He's like, how'd you do? I'm like, actually, I PR'd. He's like, what was it? I'm like, I was like 26 minutes. He's like, oh, wow, that's great, Dad. Noah's like 13. You're like twice as slow as him. And I was like, thanks, son. What a gem you are.
Wow. How many 30 years more? I mean, come on. That's pretty good.
What it did is it made me appreciate his speed. I'm like, how is it possible? Like, thinking about his mile time, breaking a 4-minute mile. I couldn't do, when I look at the different laps he does and his pace, I couldn't do one. If I just ran 400 meters as opposed to like a 5K, I couldn't do one 400 meter run one time at the pace of how he does all of them.
Gosh.
So it's impressive. People that don't run are like, who cares?
Yeah.
And then people that don't run are probably a little bit like, you know what, if you get in shape, you could probably do it. It's like, no, he's a freak.
Did you watch him run? Do we have any? Can we see him run?
We will have some clips of him running here, some B-roll in the background of the show, so people get to see him. But you can like go to Google. Actually, Kevin, let's make sure we put this a link to that race where he broke the 4-minute mile. It's a phenomenal race, and it's so quick. Like, some people don't watch track. I don't watch a lot of track. But when you have people that run the mile at fast, it goes really fast.
I'm not a runner at all, but I appreciate, and I don't even know what it's called, what like the kick is at their gait. Mm-hmm. Some people, like, I bet he has the most beautiful, but it's really high, and
yeah,
that's impressive.
It's impressive. So it's going to be a great show. We'll have Noah Bontrager, and it'll be fun. But 5-Star Life as an organization, for those who just tuned in, we are so busy right now. We have so many incredible things going. And every single program that we have, again, impacting the academic side, the social side, the employability skill side, and the athletic side, we have so much going on right now on every front. So our 5-star basketball, we're getting ready to host Adidas here next week. Our teams are all getting ready to head all over the country for different events. And it was so fun being in the gym last night. I have 17 U kids. And there's nothing more rewarding than having kids that you've coached since like 7th or 8th grade. Or some of these kids, like Blaze's team, there's dudes that have been, with us since 3rd and 4th grade.
Wow.
And to watch them grow and mature, it's like your family. Yeah. And it's the most rewarding part of the journey. We have 1 month left, and you get to just coach them and dial in at such a deeper level because of all the relational kind of energy you put into it.
Does your team, do they go to different schools, or they all go to the same high school?
They're all from different schools. There's 2 Marion kids. Every other kid is, from South Bend schools to all over this kind of
That's
region.
Nice, though.
Yeah.
Got a nice, different...
diversity.
Kids, yeah.
And they love to be together. And they just came back from their June basketball, because they all play high school basketball, obviously, and they all are starters or, real contributors. So it's fun to hear a little bit of how they're doing. But I had a coach come up to me last night, and Coach Kevin, he's like, hey, Coach Seth, I ran into someone, and somehow 5-star came up, and I was sharing that, my son is playing and I'm coaching, and this young woman in her mid to late 20s just said, 5-star changed my life. I said, yeah? I said, yeah, I would not be who I am or where I am. It saved my life and changed my life. And it's all because of 5-star. And anyways, he said, I just wanted to pass that on because, he's brand new to the program. He's actually a former police officer from New York. And so he's loving Michiana, loving the Midwest energy and safety. But anyways, it's amazing to hear the impact. So it's been fun. Then I got a call from a former coach, actually 2 former coaches, a husband and wife combo, that they used to coach a decade ago. And I'd not heard from them in at least a decade. And they just said, hey, we want to just give you some updates. And they shared, the one coach said, and she coached for probably 6 years, right? You think about that many kids. So she literally started with like 7th graders and then followed them through 8th grade through high school. So it's 6 years from 7th grade through graduation. And she just reminded me that all of her kids graduate from high school. But here's the kicker. She said every single girl that I coached besides one graduate from college.
That is amazing.
It's so cool.
That is.
And then the husband said the same thing, but he was actually batting 100%. He said, everybody graduated from high school, and every single one of my boys graduated from college. You got sous chefs, you got people in agriculture, you got math teachers down in Indy, you've got all these people spread across. You got a guy that's went to animal sciences and biology, said that he's running an alligator farm down in Louisiana. And so all these kids who went to West Side Middle School are now scattered across America, but they still connect and talk, and they still live by our values, and they're all thriving. And so I wanted to share those things because when you think about the mission that we have, because it's a mouthful, transforming students' lives. A lot of people can read that and think, oh, that's nice. But truly what we're doing is transforming students' lives in every way. And we get to see it in over 20 years. It's fun to see the compound effect of, we have so many, like just this week, actually it was yesterday, I'm up at Summit, our 400-acre innovative learning campus, and we have summer school programs going on up there. And there's a young man that comes up and said, hey, do you know my mom? I said, I don't know. What's your mom's name? He said, and he named the mom. And I said, I do know your mom. He said, well, she said to say hi. And he showed me a picture. And this is a girl that was in 5-star 15 years ago.
Wow.
And now she's got this 11-year-old that's, spending the summer with us and spent all of last year with us, every week. Like he's been up there for, most of the year. So it's fun to see this full cycle process of generationally impacting kids and give them a foundation.
I want to go back to the kids that all graduated from college. That group of kids, I mean, they came from all, walks of life. Some of them probably didn't have the same opportunities as other ones, but God, they did it.
They did it. They fought for each other. They had somebody pushing them, and they had coaches that were holding them accountable, right? And, one of the things that 5-Star Life does so well is helps kids really think about vision. Like, who do you want to be? Your character, like the person you want to be, your person, what kind of personality you want to have. And then also, what do you want to do? What skills do you want to acquire? And where do you want to go with your life? What lifestyle do you want? What do you want to pursue? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? That's been a consistent part of what we do over the last 20 years. And it's so fun to meet kids that are who they want to be and have done what they've wanted to do. Right?
Yeah.
And they've got more in the tank, but it's so when I talk to people here about the mission of 5-Star Life, we're talking about 20,000 kids a year, and we're talking about for now a couple decades of impacting students' lives. And I want to just put this out there for any other coaches. I want to put a little alarm out to any coaches that are listening that maybe you haven't reconnected in a while, but you also have followed your kids. And you can give us updates. We're celebrating 20 years, and we're talking about some different things we can do at the 25-year mark. And so we want to start gathering stories and testimonials, and we're going to do some kind of a celebration. So anyways, little shout out there for our coaches, a little call out to reconnect. You can go to 5starlife.org or hit me up on Facebook. So this is going to be a fun show. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with Noah Bontrager. But, man, so much work to be done. And if there's somebody listening and you're thinking, man, I want to be a part of this impact, go to 5starlife.org and hit the Contact Us button. And we'd love to sit down and just talk through different ways that you could get involved. We never just throw people in randomly. It's always super intentional, connected to your experience and your passions. That goes for volunteering and for donors as well. All right, we're going to take a quick break, come right back after this. The 5-Star Life Parent app. Each lesson includes a short video and simple discussion prompts designed to help families reconnect and start talking again. Because when parents lead the conversation, kids grow stronger. Download the 5-Star Life Parent app today and start your first family conversation this week. Transforming kids' lives by challenging the way they think, act, and lead. Welcome back to the 5-Star Life Show. I'm your host, Coach Seth, joined in studio with my co-host, Coach Mia.
Thank you.
And, Noah Bontrager, the first kid in the state of Indiana to break the 4-minute mile. Just incredible. I had a chance to meet him in middle school because he's a part of they have a school. He's in a school system that has 5-star life. And we always get interviews with kids and talk to the administration about, hey, who's growing, who's absorbing what we teach. And a couple of years ago, I remember meeting him in middle school. But then 2 years ago, they said, hey, you should interview Noah. He's just killing it in track and field. He's absorbing everything 5-star teaches. And so I interviewed him as a sophomore and just asked him point blank, like, out of all the things that we teach in 5-star, what's been the most beneficial for you as an athlete? And he said, hands down, it's when you talk about just growth mindset, versus a fixed mindset. He said that right there has helped me in so many ways, just understanding that anything is possible if I believe anything's possible, or I'm really limited if I don't believe I can do it. Mm-hmm. He said, so that has helped me set goals and open up and expand my mind to possibilities, to potential. And it's opened me up to doing hard things. And so it was fun to see him a couple of years ago, and I asked him some questions, and we interviewed him. And I think I first started out by asking him just kind of a leading question about, would you have imagined you'd be where you are now? So we're going to roll just a little clip from that interview.
A couple of years ago, you had some huge dreams. I'm just curious to start this off. If that sophomore Noah could see you today, what would surprise him the most?
I would say the accomplishments from what I did this year in track and developing the mindset behind some setbacks over the mid portion of my transition between cross country and track. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely points where you just want to give up and just give in, but you just got to know there's a better side to things, and as long as you keep pushing, it'll get better. It's just, you just got to keep on pushing.
So you received a lot of accomplishments, a lot of accolades. What's the one that's most exciting to you? What's the one that's most special?
I would say going sub-4 in the mile for sure. It's just a big milestone. Everyone knows what the mile is because they've run it in PE, and just going sub-4, people are just like, wow, holy cow. How do you even you have a 3-minute, 59-second mile. That's insane. And so I think that one is the one that kind of shocked me, and I'm really proud to have that accomplishment.
Walk me through that.
So day of, it was kind of a learning moment too. Just going in that day, not everything goes as planned, but it's overcoming the obstacles that get thrown at you. And that morning I wasn't in the fast heat, so I was just okay, I can still go for it. I was just we're still gonna get things done and just put it all on the track right then and there. And so I wanted, my motivation was just to prove them wrong, go in that race, place top 5, and just make them regret not putting me in that fast heat. But then switching to, okay, I'm in the fast heat, this is nice, I have other people to push me now, it was kind of a relief as well. I was just okay, this is real, this is my opportunity to really go for it. And so just keeping a positive mindset throughout the whole thing, I think really pushed me to greatness that day.
So walk me through the last lap, because you weren't leading. You were just, I don't know if you were gauging yourself and just sitting back on purpose. I don't know if there was, I'm not a runner, so I don't know what the strategy was, but all of a sudden you just turned it on and blew by everybody. Walk me through what was going through your mind.
Yeah, so that last lap, I was just well, if I don't go now, I'm not going to be able to outkick those guys.
Who have been the greatest influencers to help you develop that mindset, that work ethic, the character? Because greatness doesn't just show up. There's this hidden side of it. What and who has shaped you the most?
Steve Prefontaine. And one of his quotes to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift.
Wow.
Sacrifice. Anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. This kid, we're going to show a couple other clips too, because I asked him some other questions, but he's got some wisdom beyond his years, you know, and that's why I wanted to highlight him. You know, so many people wrongly think that they can't learn from kids. And I learn so much from kids all the time. They make you think, they challenge you because they have some of the most brilliant things and then some of the stupidest things, like all at the same time, right? Sometimes. But he you know, to not use the gift is such a horrible thing. Like, he understands it. Like, this is a gift from God, and it's a waste if I don't use this. It is interesting because as adults, do we think about ourselves that way?
No.
Do we look at our gifts and think, like, I've got to go all in on this? Otherwise, I'm wasting my gifts. Like, that's a deep, like, bombshell type of quote right there.
I'm totally convicted. You know, I think a lot of us, it's you know, but you think of like a runner and you think of what he's talking about and that push, that drive, you know, and we just give in. We don't stick with it. It's too hard.
Yeah, you know, we talk about doing hard things. That's one thing about running for me personally. It's why I wanted to run. Like, you know what? You know, at 48, everybody at this age has done some hard things, right? We all have. But I was like, you know what? I need to send a message to my body that I've been in shape to a degree, but I'm going to do some hard things that push my mind too, because it's mental.
Oh, well, I think, I'm not a runner. I've tried it, but I think it's more mental than it is physical sometimes.
It is so mental. And he talks later about, actually, I'm not sure if I show that clip, but I asked him, like, how do you think about the big picture? Do you think about, you know, the vision you have? He's like, no, I lock in, I stay in the moment. Like, I just think about the next one, like the next interval, That's I've got to stay in the moment. And mentally, I think that's what you hear all the time from people who succeed. They are every day they glance at the vision. They know why they're alive today. At the end of the day, they look at that and compare that vision with, did they take steps toward it, right? And there's a level of fulfillment. Yeah, it was a good day. Or, no, it wasn't a good day. I didn't move toward that agenda. But once they get to work or to their workout or to their sport or to whatever it is, they are dialed in, fully present. And it's like, I'm going to give my all right here. And he makes this comment. He says something so profound, Mia. He said, you know, I just realized, like, and what I tell myself is, it's going to hurt either way. Because I'm running, it's going to hurt either way. The question is it going to hurt and benefit me, where I can look at myself in the mirror and feel good that I gave my all? Or am I going to have the pain physically and mentally and now emotionally that I took the easy way out? Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Really powerful stuff.
It is. Make sure your head spin a little bit.
He talks a little bit. I asked him a question about belief, but I said, you know, talk to kids who maybe don't believe in themselves. And he goes into a little dialogue about it.
What would you say to your 7th grade self, or to another 7th grader or 6th grader out there that has this idea of accomplishing something great, whether it's a sport or whether it's with an instrument or some other form of greatness, but they don't really believe? What do you say to them?
I would say go after it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Like, if I would have shut down running, I wouldn't be here today. And so, just go and do whatever you want to do. Chase it and just love it.
Go for it, chase it, love it. I know there's people listening to the show right now that maybe they have shot themselves down. Maybe they've given up Maybe they got the what ifs. And I just want to encourage people out there, like whether it's in your work, in your career, in relationships, with family, in your health, in your finances, like again, we're playing this because from the mouth of babes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when we lose our youthful vigor, there's a part of us that dies inside, and that is not what I want, right? And I think people listening, I don't think it's what any of us want.
I don't think so. And what's interesting is, when you said go back to your seventh grade self. Everybody can remember. I mean, immediately when you said that, I went right back to seventh grade, and it's such a great time of life that you have so many dreams. And I was thinking, oh my God, all the things I wanted to do. But it's also that time where you're hurt deeply by things that are said to you, by peers. And so to hear that just push through. Gosh, darn it, push through.
Mm-hmm. And we get so focused on things that are totally unrelated to who we want to be or where we want to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All these things that just kind of get in our way, or we all, and the truth is, and this hurts a little bit to say it this way, but we allow these things to get in our way. Every roadblock can be removed. We have that kind of power, but we let these things cling on to us and bog us down. Mm-hmm. And there's something so freeing about just knowing, like, you have the power to shake it off. You have the power to let it go and move on and get back to where you want to go. There's another clip. I asked him about. I kind of referenced a little bit of what he said, but he talks about the conversation in his head. Do we have enough time before the break to do this one or not, Kevin? No. Okay. Then we'll pause right here. We'll pause, and we'll just remind folks to if you think that your kids or your grandkids, your nieces and nephews, would benefit from hearing from Noah Bontrager and hearing his mindset, and hear how he's adopted the values of 5-Star Life, I want to encourage you to bring 5-Star Life to your community. If it's not there, reach out to us. Go to the 5-Star Life website, 5starlife.org, the word 5, the word star, the word life.org, and reach out to us. We'd love to connect, and if you can be a bridge to your community, we're growing and scaling all over the place. So go to 5starlife.org to learn more. The other thing you can do, if you don't want to take it that far, is you can just download our 5-Star Life parent app, and you can go through this content with your kids. We've made it so accessible, so easy, and you literally download the app. There's a little button that says Start Here for parents. You click that, and I spent about 7 minutes walking you through, like, how to use the app, what to do. It's like a tutorial, and then you're off and running, and it's really powerful. So check out the 5-Star Life app. Again, this summer, it's a great time to have conversations with your kids. You can download that at the Apple Store or the Google Play Store.
At 5-Star Life, we talk a lot about the right tools. See, the hammer is the courage to be the best person you can be. The chisel is the respect you give and the respect you earn. The level, that's the integrity that keeps you balanced in a world that's always shifting. And the saw represents responsibility. It is what separates you from harmful actions and experience. It's the sacrifice it takes to work hard and be your best. Tools, when they're all used together, things are built. There's progress, but where there are no tools, there can be no progress. We give these important tools to kids every single day, and we couldn't do it without our partners like Global Link Distribution. Global Link supports this mission so that these values, courage, respect, integrity, responsibility, and sacrifice become the tools these amazing young people use to become great. Global Link Distribution is a leader and supplier to the RV, manufactured housing, cabinet shop, cargo, and horse trailer industries, but they're also a proud sponsor of this program to help 5-Star Life students thrive. It is our turn to see to it that our children have the tools that build greatness. Volunteer or donate today at 5starlife.org.
Welcome back to the 5-Star Life Show. I'm here, Coach Seth, the host, my co-host, Coach Mia, and we're having a great time. Just having a conversation with Noah Bontrager, one of our 5-Star Life students from Westview High School, just graduated, has a full ride scholarship to run cross country at the University of Notre Dame.
That's amazing.
And he is currently trying to qualify for the world stage right now, which he won the American event of that. He won this 3,000 meter race. He's a runner, but I ask him some questions about how he deals with things that are hard, or if he ever gets tempted to quit.
When you're training or running, competing, and it gets hard, what's the conversation in your head go like?
Well, it's like, this is going to hurt like the same amount as if I would slow down a little bit. So I think it's just more like, you have to get this done. It's going to hurt no matter what. You just got to push through. And I mean, intervals, when we do that, and it's just like 800s that I run, it's brutal. And I just am like, keep on going. It's the next one, just the next one, till I'm at the end, and it's just a cool down left. And so it's just taking little chunks and focusing on those little chunks at a time, and making sure I don't look at the broad aspect of it and get discouraged because of it.
Wow.
And he's got some wisdom. How often do we as adults get discouraged because we're overwhelmed by all of our responsibilities that in many ways we asked for, prayed for, begged for, dreamed about, and then we have them, and then it's so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Like for him, it's got to be overwhelming at times. The pressure, all he wants to do, but he just can simplify it and break it down and say, I'm going to focus in little chunks. And there's such wisdom in that.
There is. And, even with Noah and running, you don't think about all the factors that go into that too. Like it's not, when he goes into a race and he trains, it's not guaranteed that it's perfect weather. He's going to be fully hydrated. It could be 100 degrees and he's still got a race. And just dealing with that adversity, but it starts in your mind, like preparing yourself. Like this is going to hurt.
And I think one of the things that the way we articulate this in 5-star language is you need to start stacking wins. And you can change your life if you'll just take the low-hanging fruit, the here and the now, and can I be great right here? Can I give my all for the next 5 minutes, for the next minute, for the next 30 seconds? And there's something so simple about that, but it's really profoundly life-changing when people start realizing, like, and we say it this way, excellence is the next 5 minutes. Like, you want to be great, you want to be excellent, just then don't worry about being excellent someday, because that day never comes for so many people, but let's just be excellent for the next 5 minutes. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to be excellent. I'm going to be a great listener. I'm going to be a great trash taker outer, or window washer, or bedroom cleaner, or whatever it is. I'm gonna be excellent for the next 5 minutes. Then the next 5 minutes comes, like, oh, I'm gonna be excellent at this. I'm gonna be fully engaged. And that's what Noah's talking about, just little chunks. Like, I gotta focus on this next interval. That's it. I'm not gonna worry about the whole thing. We do ourselves a disservice and we overwhelm ourselves emotionally. It's amazing how we can work ourselves up and feel we can be fine, and then we start ruminating on all the things we have to do. And within 5 minutes, all of a sudden, we are overwhelmed, we're tired, and all that is our body. We talked about this last week. It's our body starting to shut down because it's too much. So what does it do? It gets sleepy. It gets depressed. It starts thinking negative thoughts. But when you can take chunks, and I can be excellent in the next 5 minutes. I can prepare this lunch. I can clean this toilet. I can have this conversation. I can discipline my child with patience and groundedness. And it's like you get a little win, you build momentum. You build that that efficacy, like, I got this. It's so powerful, and then you start stacking wins, and then you're back. Little steps.
We complicate everything. And I think a lot of people, and I do this too, it's like everything has to be perfect before I can be excellent for those 5 minutes. I have to have all the supplies. I have to, go change my clothes, do whatever, instead of just like dive in, be excellent.
And then the next level is getting to a place where, to me, the ultimate level is not just being excellent, but it's living excellent. And living excellent is on an emotional level. You aren't just executing and there's some people that can execute, they're beasts. They're like machines. They're just go, 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 go. the quality of life. Are you enjoying the journey? Because you might be excellent, but are you truly excellent in your soul? Are you enjoying the journey? Are you fulfilled? Are you doing it with joy and with love and a level of peace? Or is it just go time? And I think there's so many people that are in this stage of life right now where they're either it's been go time and they're waking up to like, what matters in life?
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily what I do. It's how I do it. It's who I do it with. It's the joy is in the journey. And I think Noah didn't say it that way, but he enjoys the journey. He talks about easy runs. And I think it ties right into this point.
Okay.
People see the victories. What's something people don't see?
They don't see easy runs. Easy runs are just, it can be days like this where it's hot and you just don't really want to run. And just going on an easy run, it can be either relaxing or just kind of torture. And just, I mean, it's a part of the mindset too. You can let it torture you that whole run. It can be in your head that whole run, or you can make the most of it and just enjoy it the most you can. Because, I mean, you have legs, you're able to run on those legs, and there's some people that don't have that ability. And so you gotta think about that and be grateful.
So wise, this
Got
young
some
man.
nuggets.
Yeesh.
Easy runs. Do you give yourself permission to do some easy runs? Do you give yourself permission to do some easy things? Do you give yourself permission to enjoy everything you do? Like even when it's like really hard, like, you know what? I'm going to do hard, but I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to make the most out of the easy run. I'm going to make the most out of the hard run. I'm going to push myself, but I'm okay. I don't have to always be go. There's different seasons. The rest is important. And to me, it's about living at rest. There's times where you need to be intense and get things done. You got to be locked in. But learning how to enjoy all of the parts of the journey, it's like, otherwise life just passes you by.
Sure. I guess what I took away from that is that he stayed on the journey. And I think most of us just are like, I need a break. Like, I don't even want to do an easy run, you know? So I'm going to sit out. And I think that, like, for me, then that puts me back because I've allowed my mind to think, you know what? Yeah, you work hard. You take a little rest.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's what I took away from that.
That's good. That's a good point. So again, this is stuff that we're filming it right now, and we're working on curriculum that will go into schools this year, and this will be part of the story, part of the curriculum. So it's fun. It's fun stuff we do. We interview all kinds of people from all walks of life for our kids, just to get some perspective, and it's cool when they're like their peers. It's really powerful. So, all right, we've been filming so much curriculum, and we start out by talking about just the whole theme is rise, to improve, to grow, to experience positive change. Like, are you rising? That's the question I have for our audience. Are you rising? Do you feel like you're rising in your health, in your wealth, in your personality? Is your personality getting better? Your relationships, are they rising, or are they falling? These are all things that, again, the part of the mission of 5 Star Life is to hold a mirror up to kids, to hold a mirror up to parents, to coaches, to the professionals we work with, and say, if you will pause and take a look in the mirror and just look at yourself, do some evaluation. That simple question, am I rising? And the reality is, everybody that's listening, there's probably areas you're rising in, which is awesome. And it's so important to celebrate those things. Like Noah said, like, you have legs, you can run. That's something to celebrate. That's something to be grateful for. But then there's also some areas that maybe you're not rising, that you've just avoided. We want to think about those things. It's really important. But this whole series we're in, I think so far in this program, we've talked about, ultimately, if you want to rise, it starts by understanding that your brain can change. So many people think, well, I'm just stuck. I'm limited. I can't move. I'm too old to learn new tricks. I tried working out. I tried budgeting. I tried these things. It didn't work. Well, you can change. And you can succeed. You can win. But all change starts with your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The second lesson we talked about in this show, in our curriculum, is just understanding how your emotions, like you were just saying, can lead you and take you on a roller coaster. And so many of us, we aren't leading our lives. Our emotions are leading our lives. We make all our decisions based on emotions. That is who we date, who we marry, how we parent, how we go to work, how we treat our coworkers, like what we wear. And again, emotions are not good or bad, but they're not supposed to be in charge.
How do we teach kids to, I guess, first of all, be aware that their emotions are leading their lives? So is there anything that we teach them or?
Yeah, it's helping them understand the emotions they're experiencing. So if I'm just an angry person, or I'm depressed, or I'm sad a lot, or I'm just an anxious person. My mom's like that. I'm just an anxious person.
Mm-hmm.
We help them identify some of those negative emotions that they don't like. They don't like what they're experiencing. And we let them know this really foundational truth. Your emotions, you are not your emotions. Your emotions just tell you what state of being you're living in at the moment. And to break that down, the polyvagal theory talks about the 3 states of being we can live in.
Mm-hmm.
You can be really clear, really full of peace and joy and love, or you can be filled with anxiety and stress and fear. Or you can be at the bottom where you're just depressed. So there's these 3 different states that carry up so many emotions in each area. But instead of kids thinking, well, I'm just this way, we teach them, no, that's the state of being. That's not who you are. That's where you are on what we call the polyvagal ladder. On that emotional ladder, that's where you are choosing to live, or that's where you've trained yourself or allowed yourself or been programmed to live.
Mm-hmm.
Your reactions, your emotional habits, we have emotional habits. So to help them break that down and empowering them to say, listen, you can actually learn how to rise.
The 5-Star Life Parent app. Each lesson includes a short video and simple discussion prompts designed to help families reconnect and start talking again. Because when parents lead the conversation, kids grow stronger. Download the 5-Star Life Parent app today and start your first family conversation this week, transforming kids' lives by challenging the way they think, act, and lead.
Welcome back to the 5-Star Life Show. Coach Seth and Coach Mia here to wrap up this show. Fun show with Noah.
Oh my gosh, love it.
Yeah, and I
Very
really want to
inspiring.
encourage people from, our local listening area to go and check him out and cheer him on at Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. He's local. We get to
Yeah.
actually watch him race.
Mm-hmm.
So what a great young man, great family. I met his dad. Holy cow, what a great. His dad is his high school cross country coach,
Really?
and he's just a great. They're just humble people, like super down to earth. But obviously, from here to Noah, they are people of substance and depth. And we couldn't air a lot of what Noah said, but the relationships are so key to them. And I talked to his dad on the phone, and he's like, yeah, we'd love to do this to help kids. That's great. I mean, these accolades, all this stuff, like, it's great. But what we care about, and he actually said this, it's like, his mom always brings him back and grounds him. And he said, no, what does your mom always tell you? It's like, I'm coaching him, I'm pushing him, I'm training him, but what does your mom say? Mom just always says, it's not about the trophies, it's about who you are. I don't care very much about I'll celebrate you, but I care about who you are. That's really powerful.
That is, and you can tell. I mean, he just seems like a really wonderful young man.
It's not performance-based. So, but before with the break, we were talking about our curriculum theme, Rise. You were asking, like, how do we teach kids about their emotions?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about this concept of your brain can change. So we go into a little bit of the brain science and help them understand that, like, it's a lie to think that you can't change or you can't grow or you can't do something. It's a lie. Well, I can't control my anger. I can't do this. Yes, you can. And it's also a lie to believe that, well, I'm just angry. That's who I am. No, that's the state of being you choose to live in. So then how do you begin to control that and take ownership? Because that's a superpower. If you can understand that anger is not bad, sadness is not bad, all they are letting you know there's something going on that you need to address. And when they learn that, okay, when the emotion comes, I need to start being mindful. I need to start engaging and understand what am I feeling? And if they can name that emotion, if they can get drilled on, I'm sad, I'm angry. If they can name it and then trace it back to, okay, so why? Well, because this happened or because that happened. Well, then they have power to rise back up. And so what we teach in the third lesson is we teach them then, now that you know that your brain can change, now that you know that you have a range of emotions and you don't have to be controlled by them, we now teach them that you have the power to respond. You don't have to just react, right? Reactions happened in microseconds. They're intuitive. They just go. Responses are thoughtful, and it's you controlling, right? And so how do you start to train your nervous system and your emotions and your brain to sync together to take control of those things? We call it the power of the pause. Because before you don't just go from 0 to 60. Like a car can't go from 0 to 60 in a second. It takes 4 seconds or 3 seconds or whatever it is. So there's this span of time that our emotions go from fine to blow up explosive anger or sadness or depression or whatever, or anxiety. There's a little process there. And what we teach kids is it's the power of the pause. If you can pause, something happens. If you can train your brain to the same way I can train AI to recognize my voice, to speak like I speak, I can train my brain to look for and scan for emotions that can be damaging and can lead me to places I don't want to go. And you can train your brain literally by just saying, okay, I'm sad. Okay, what's the sadness? And then you pause. You pause. Identify where is that sadness coming from? And then what's my next move? That little pause is where you start to take control of your responses and prevent reactions.
Is this you do this by yourself? We're teaching kids to process this by themselves?
So we're teaching them how to process this with themselves, and also with, co-regulation is one of the most powerful things. So learning that you can lean on people, because that's one of the most powerful ways to get yourself when you're depression or if you're anxious. Like sometimes we are so stuck in that cycle that we need somebody else to help pull us out of it, right? We had a situation, this is a great example, this week in one of our programs, we had a kid take off, right? You work with as many kids as we work with, they have stuff going on, whatever, and he just took off. He's like, I want to go home. I want to, he just lost it.
Yeah.
And ultimately what happened is one of our staff members, actually my son, just walked with him. And he just walked with him. And then the kid's like, I'm going to run. He was like, I'm going to run away. And I was like, as I'm listening to the story, I'm like, that's perfect. He doesn't even know it. This kid doesn't know it, but his body knows it. How do you get rid of anxiety and fear? And how do you work this stuff out of your system? Physical exercise is one of the best ways. So literally, he ran for about 10 seconds, like as fast as he could. And then he just started walking. And then he started rising up to clarity. And then he started conversing. And they started realizing, I don't want to go home. I'm going to be okay. Started actually being able to hear what his coach was saying and listening. And again, if you don't understand how the brain and the nervous system work, you can start to try to control your kids and shame them and blame them. And when they try to run off, you can make it worse. You can escalate it.
Yeah.
And so there's some things that you can do. And in those moments, once you've dealt with it, once they've calmed down, those are the perfect opportunities. We got to sit this young man down and say, hey, listen, Let's talk through what was going on, where to start. We traced it back to him not getting enough sleep, to him waking up late because it was so hot. He couldn't sleep all night because of the heat.
Yeah.
Number 2, he woke up late. His alarm didn't go off. So he woke up just frantic. Then he got in the bus and people were extra loud. So he had all these things that were kind of leading up to this blow up. But then we got to teach him, okay, so this might happen again. What's our game plan? Notice when you ran, exercise is a great thing. But you can, before it gets that bad, you can start working on some breath work. You can start taking some deep breaths. That will help clear all of that noise, all that emotion, so then you can respond. And so we walked through some simple things, some breathing exercises. And I was like, hey, how do you feel after this? He's like, I said, do you feel calmer? He said, yeah. So you're equipping these kids with these tools, and we have teachers all the time tell us, like, we have kids on the playground, in the classroom, before tests, when there's something off with a conflict with a peer, and you'll see them just pause. They're learning the power of the pause. And these kids, they feel so powerful. And instead of them being shamed for their emotions, they're learning that, oh, I don't have to feel bad if I experience this, but I also don't have to let it hijack me and turn me into a person I don't want to be. That's power.
It is. And imagine if we, as adults, if we were to learn that as a child.
Yeah.
I mean, you would still have some relationships that you've blown up because we did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But we didn't run. We probably used our mouth and, annihilated somebody.
Yeah, well, both. I think we used our fists. We used our mouths. We used all of it. I think everybody's kind of been, most of us have been there at some point.
Yeah.
But the superpower of, think about this. Earlier we talked about people just enjoying living a 5-star life. Yes, wealth and health are really important. But at an emotional and mental level, there's so many people, everybody's talking about mental health right now, emotional well-being. And I'm telling you, if you will get your mental and emotional well-being intact, in order, there's so much research that says it will open up the avenues for relational work to be done, for connection to happen. It will open up your brain, your creativity to make money, to show up in the arena the way you want to. So it all goes back to me. If you want those other things, it starts here. And that's what we're teaching in 5-star.
And you know what? A lot of people don't want to start with me, but it's the only place to start. And I love that we can teach kids that. And they love it. I mean, they're so receptive of it.
They're like sponges. And it's so cool because you can see their confidence grow and their love for themselves grow. That's really important. That they actually respect and like and love who they are. And they can be proud of the growth they're experiencing. And they can feel that satisfaction knowing that, hey, I was about to take that person's head off, but instead I took a few deep breaths. Like, that feels good. It feels great. Or I wanted to quit and shut down and put my head down because I didn't feel like doing the test. But I did it. I completed it. I gave it my all. That feels good. What they're doing is they're gaining self-efficacy. This idea that I can lead my life. It's so empowering. And this is again, Mia, we've talked about this a ton of times in this program, but the average adult has the emotional intelligence quotient of a 13-year-old. So, the reason we talk about it on this show is because so many of us as adults are still not where we want to be. And I would say that is true of myself. I'm constantly wanting to grow and improve. I've got kids. I've got relationships. I've got, you've got everybody has stuff. And the question that we want to ask is, are you ready to come a little higher in the level of enjoyment of life and how you deal with people and relationships? What if you walk through life? Think about this. This is for me. I want to walk through every moment of my day with the spirit of peace and joy and love and enjoying every interaction, every moment, being fully present, knowing I have solutions, being creative, and bringing a warmth and emanating that same spirit of love and joy and peace everywhere I go. Like, that's fun for me. Instead of just, oh crap, I got to get this done. Then I got this done. Oh gosh, overwhelmed. I mean, that's living versus barely surviving.
Right. The other part too is I'm going to go back to the reaction that we were talking about is why do our bodies so desperately want to react and not, what was the other word? Respond. Yeah.
Because it triggers it literally, your body is like screaming for something has to happen. Something's got to give. Right.
Yeah.
So it's the sympathetic nervous system at work saying, you got to fight or you got to flee. You can't stay where you are. You got to do something right now. If you can recognize that moment, like first step is awareness.
Right.
If you can recognize that awareness, you can say, whoa, hold on. No, that's not true. I don't have to fight or flee. That is false. So it's retraining. As you do this, you identify these things, the awareness will start to reprogram your own brain the next time it happens. Like, fight or flight? No, I don't have to. I think I'll choose option C. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to come back up a little higher. I'm going to look at this thing objectively. Then I am going to make a choice. Right?
Yeah. Power of the pause.
So the system is working because it's designed to protect us. That's why. But we've trained it wrong. All right. What a fun show.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. If you want more, go to 5starlife.org. Get involved, volunteer, donate, bring it to your school, or check us out on YouTube or yourhometv.com. Thanks for tuning in.